That day, the Prince of Vaud, Jean of Savoy-Vaud, had decided to take his two sons, Louis, 12, and Andéol, 10, fishing along the banks of the Venoge. The river of old earth, once described by the poet Gilles as the very incarnation of the Vaudési spirit, had lent its name to this one, located several parsecs from its model. Broader, yet just as tranquil, it wound its way through the countryside of the principality before emptying into that vast inland sea of fresh water still called the Léman. Prince Jean thought back with nostalgia to his own fishing trips long ago with his father Louis II of Savoy-Vaud, the penultimate Baron of Vaud. And with a pain he had believed long extinguished, came the memory of their last conversation, the one where, in the fervor of youth, he had chosen to disobey and join the vassals of Vaud in their doomed war against the city of the Béarn. He could still see himself, proud beneath his helmet, astride a dun-colored horse, his shield emblazoned with his personal arms, instantly recognizable. Around him, the flower of Vaudé's nobility burned with the same pride and recklessness. Nearly all of them fell at Laupen, facing the Bernese under the charismatic Rudolf von Erlach, struck down by the blades of the Confederates. Never would he have imagined that centuries later, upon returning to life, he would find his lands now part of that very confederation he had once despised. He rejoiced, of course, at this second chance granted by fate, yet seeing the Swiss cross flying over every building of planetary importance still filled him with an irony tinged with respect. And yet he knew his father's wisdom. After his death, Louis II had worked with a jeweler's patience to reconcile the land of Vaud with its Confederate neighbors. Jean, in memory of the man he had failed to heed, now chose to follow in his footsteps and to rein in that same spirit of balance. Incognito, dressed like simple weekend fishermen, the father and his sons made their way to a quiet bend of the river. Jean set up the rods, baited the hooks, and invited them to cast their lines. They had chosen float fishing. As they watched the bobbers drift downstream, he began to teach them the patient virtue of fishing, that slow apprenticeship in diplomacy. Memories flooded back. His father, long ago on the other Venoge. The same gestures, the same silences. The same virtues he had once rejected before realizing, too late, that they were wisdom itself. Had he only listened, perhaps his fate, and that of the land of Vaud, would have been different. Then, like an echo rising from the depths of his memory, came a line from the famous poet of Saint-Saphorin. Who can't? Jean smiled. Deep down, he knew his father must be rejoicing, proud of the path his son had taken, and of the new life of his grandsons. A ripple suddenly disturbed the surface. Andéol's bobber had vanished. The boy pulled on his line, a catch. That day, the prince and his sons would not return empty-handed. On the Venoge, like all rivers, a fisherman needs silence and patience. But here, a simple click is enough. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and may your line never break.